Well, hello there, people. It looks like I'm about on time. How's my audio doing? Because if I need to, I can turn off the fan. That's what I'm checking. Hello, hello. You take phone home. And a one, two, three. What's wrong with the fan? What's up? All right, everybody hear me now? Well, usually it takes like 2 or 3 minutes, but this time I actually sent the link out to a few people beforehand. It's okay. I got a feeling soon enough these little live things are gonna start filling up pretty fucking quickly. So I have some. Well, I can't give it live, but I got some fucking weird ass crazy news. It's like like how I always joke with I'm the devil and all this other crap. Well, if I am the devil, then I must be still very much loved by God because He just put me in these very odd situations. Is all I can say. Hello, Hebby. How are you doing? Hi, Shibby. But yeah, very, very interesting situations as of late. Y'all can hear me all right, right? It's a yes or a no. You kind of mean, yeah. You know I'm here too, right, fuckers? Oh, finally, somebody fucking answered. God. But yeah, anybody that knows me on Discord or something like that, after live or any other time, you can message me and I'll tell you the crazy ass stuff that's, yeah. It's like I try to be good, but I think I really am here supposed to do evil. I honestly really do think that's a fact. Kind of explains all the weird uh, high amounts of numbers that keep popping up in the chats and stuff. It's like I'm used to spies and creepers and lurkers and stuff, but usually, it's only like 3 or 4 or something like that. But yes, tonight we're going to talk about kind of an old case. Well, actually, technically, they're both old cases involving serial killer and the serial killer's child. And I know it sounds self-explanatory, but it really isn't. But at the same time, it kind of coincides if you watch my live the other night or a replay or whatever. That how do I put it? Be like wholesome serial killers. I know that sounds like a little bit crazy of a term to make, but it's basically a serial killer that believes it's a good thing what they're doing. Oddly enough, and I guess I mean this is probably the closest we kind of get at this point. I mean, I've probably researched, I don't know, hundreds, maybe thousands of probably thousands of serial killers. And it's a very small list of ones that half-ass can consider what they were doing a good idea, you know? I'm helping the earth, clean it up around here, stuff like that. And I don't know. I mean, like I said, maybe if the Alaskan Avenger guy, who's a YouTuber, by the way, so you might want to go check him out if he's not back in prison yet. Um, that's happened a couple of times. That's why I say that. And if you don't know who the Alaskan Avenger is, he's a guy that used the registered sex offenders list to track down I think it was two pedophiles, and got their address off the registered sex offenders list. And upon doing so, he nearly beat them both to death in separate attacks. And he was then sent to prison. I mean, I want to say luckily they both lived, but I mean, honestly, that's not luckily. Maybe lucky for them, but not lucky for the rest of the planet. So it's kind of like those people deserve to go in the wood chipper. So it is what it is. But yeah, he's probably the closest thing we got to a wholesome serial killer because yeah, he was molested as a kid, but doing, as far as I'm concerned, the Lord's work himself. He went to their house, and well, the only thing he got wrong is no, they didn't die, and he was caught. So okay, two things wrong, I guess. Honestly, that's the kind of people when I'm made president are the ones I feel that should be running the wood chipper island. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. There's the two of us doing that. Now, are we talking about the old school, just the two of us, or are we talking about fucking Will Smith? I thought Heather would be watching, but don't. Okay, there we go. At least somebody's got some style, for God's sake. But yeah, I wish I could tell you all the other stuff, but I kind of can't for reasons. You know what I mean? I should have probably said that in the DMs or in the email and stuff that I sent y'all before the live, or whatever. But it's very surprising. It's very surprising. Very surprising. Is it like regular? I can't run for shit, man. Y'all are gonna. Yeah, I already lost. If we're running, we have to run or something. I'm fucked. Seriously. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I've heard all kinds of interesting things lately. I've heard. Here's a bunch of non-related news. There, oddly enough, seems to be a I don't know expose or special episode or some junk coming out soon. I hear that involves, and I know I really don't want to talk about that case, but you know it is what it is. But it involves the murder sheets. And guess what the episode's going to be all about, guys? Apparently, it's I've heard different rumors about some thing that they're interviewing YouTubers and all this other crap, but well, a specific group of YouTubers, mind you. And I've heard some people say that it's going to be on their channels, like either on MS's channel or on the actual YouTuber channel. Well, I'm not entirely sure which, or if this is actually true or not. This is just a bunch of shit I heard, honestly. But apparently, it's going to be again completely about the troll farm. Because I got feelers out and people that come back to me and tell me stuff and everything else. But it sounds like something I don't need to listen to. You know what I'm saying? But I thought it was hilarious sounding. It was like, really? But yes, getting back to what I was saying, this involves, well, I guess in the late 80s, early 90s, there was a serial killer. I mean, as it was told to me in the first place, it was told to me that I did know who the killer was. Just some of the, I know some of the serial killers, even with the name most of the time. I'm just like, what? And when you got a tally of only like four victims, I'm like, come on, that's too difficult for me to think, remember all the time. But yeah, this dude, his name Carl Patton. Carl Patton was convicted in 2007, or no, 2003 or 2007, I forget which, for the murders of four individuals. I'll be telling you their names and all that in a second. That's basically like a short summary of what's going to occur. Yeah, he had multiple, I guess you would call them accomplices in the acts. One was a fireman named Joe Cleveland, and Joe helped him, for what I remember, kill at least two of the victims. And then to basically, keep things mum, I guess you would say, Carl Patton killed Joe Cleveland and Joe Cleveland's roommate, who he thought he had snitched to. Also, in the process of the second murder, they were both killed with a shotgun, but apparently Carl's wife, Norma, helped him dispose of the bodies and clean up and all that other good stuff. Plus, she did know beforehand that he was going to kill them, might I add. Well, and I know what you're thinking, like, okay, we're talking about a serial killer from the 90s and stuff, bro. No, not quite. Well, what the fuck does that have to do with any relevant issues? Well, that's what we're getting to. All Carl Patton's and their Joe Cleveland and their Norma Patton's crimes happened in the great state of Georgia. Gotta love them peaches, right? Well, see, they couldn't convict Carl for many, many years because even though they were finding bodies and such, they couldn't find, or they couldn't, didn't have DNA yet. So basically, they had these victims and stuff, and they just had to sit them on hold for a long ass period of time till they finally got DNA and stuff. And finally, they were able to test it against somebody, got a hit. Carl was brought in. Yeah, I guess at first he wasn't talking, but they also got a second DNA hit, from what I know, off of Norma Patton, his wife. And which I'm gonna tell you right now, right off the bat, the shows kind of the man he is in a way, because if you're gonna be a serial killer and you're gonna make your wife and shit at least help you, or if she does decide to do so herself, as in the cleanup and stuff, the least you can do as a fucking man, right, is at least let her testify on her own behalf to get immunity and be okay with it. Yeah, so she doesn't go to prison, right? You know what I'm saying? And that's what Carl did. So I'm going to give him a little bit more props there. And I'm going to give him other props, but we're going to give that a minute. So you know what I'm saying? That's a different part of the story. And where the fucking is the damn Cinnamon Toast Crunch or the Reese's Puffs? Cinnamon Life? Anything? You fucking suck, dude. Seriously. Fucking Canadians. As I was saying, pumpkin. Ew. You're really showing your Canadian side right now, dude. But as I was saying, yes, Norma basically testified everything she knew. She told the complete and utter truth as I know of it. And as far as the cops are concerned, she received immunity and she testified against Carl. Carl ended up, I think he was convicted in 2003 or 2007. And within a matter of like 4 or 5 years, he died of natural causes. But here's where the Chinese gets a little bit shady because if you read the title of this whole damn thing, you know that, as I said, they had a couple of daughters, and if you looked at the thumbnail of this video, you would have seen Carl Patton and Norma. Well, no, that's not Carl Patton and Norma. That is literally I forget his first name, but something Wolfenbarger, and his wife Melissa Wolfenbarger, who is the victim here, and their two young daughters. And also, Carl Patton and Norma Patton apparently had two daughters as well. Now, one of those daughters was named Melissa Patton. If you're not catching on to what I'm doing or where I'm going with this, yes, in 1997, Melissa Patton Wolfenbarger, the daughter of basically, you might as well say, maybe two serial killers for all we know, but at least one, went missing. And it took a few years, but they finally found her remains in plastic trash bags, and she was dismembered. Shibby, I know you're not sending me like messages and shit when I'm literally in the middle of a live. Did you really interrupt my live just to send me a picture of a box of fucking pumpkin spice fucking Cheerios? Really? But yeah, as I was saying, she goes missing in '99. I think it might have been '99, but or after she was found in trash bags, dismembered. Now, most people would be like, well, of course, that occurred because she's the daughter of a serial killer. Not quite. Apparently, uh, sadly, she was confined and controlled and had her kids taken away and lived a really crappy ass life. And not because of her parents, mind you, it was because of, well, the guy you see in the picture on the avatar of this live. Um, Heavy, I see your comments. Don't know what you're talking about. And I have no words that are banned here or anything like that, so it wouldn't be that. Yeah, you asked, would you like DD? And it says Captain Crunch, Lucky Charms, Special K with strawberries, and blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah. Are you in Top Chat or are you in recent? Like, hold on, isn't there a way I can set this to. Yeah, that. There we go. That way everybody can see. Hmm. Well, I mean, I see your messages or whatever, but I mean, it'd be kind of weird if I just stopped everything every, like, I don't know, 15 seconds. You know, address your comments about breakfast cereal. I mean, I can if you really want, but it'd still be kind of weird. Just but what's up, Pish? As I was saying, yes, 1997, the daughter goes missing, and shortly thereafter, she's found dismembered in trash bags. She lived a very shitty, controlled life. Apparently, after she moved out of her parents' place, not during, but after. Oddly enough, I don't know if Carl was a controlling person. I don't know about none of that stuff. When you look up these people, the main thing you hear about is what he was convicted of and the horrible life she lived when she was married, and this that was all after the fact. So, but for the longest time, apparently the police thought, basically they've sworn up and down they knew who the killer was, and it was basically they didn't say so, but they thought it was her husband. Which, like I said, this is the Wolfenbarger guy. And oddly enough, as it relates to recent events, I think it was last week or so, they had finally gotten enough to arrest and take her husband to trial. And like I said, this was also in Georgia, where the father's original murders did occur as well, in the original conviction. Crazily, which not honestly not too crazily because there wasn't much evidence in the case that the police had to work with. Hi, Piggy. But it turns out that yeah, he was found not guilty of all things. Peggy's fucking weird, dude. She's gonna be like oatmeal or some shit, or that she chews glass or something weird like that while listening to Tupac. You know. Now I'm basically giving you a story, okay? So I'm probably gonna take a minute. Why does my phone gotta keep going? Listen, people, okay. Don't act like you don't fucking know I'm live. It's not a fucking good time. Wait, we gotta stop everything because if she actually eats cereal, we gotta hear her answer. Hold up, hold up, hold up. Come on, out with it. The show can't go on until we find out what kind of cereal Peggy eats, or legs, or whatever. And if, well, if anybody doesn't like that, I can stop things whenever I want. Well, it's my fucking show. Fuck off. They do not. No, they don't. No, they do not. She's trolling. Shivy, get on that. Google that shit. Verify it. She's a troll. Can't trust her. No. Do they really have Wendy's frosty flavored fucking cereal? They do not. Yeah, fucking Google that shit, dog. She's trolling us, man. Seriously. I'm just like sad that none of y'all named Cinnamon Toast Crunch, and I feel like I should ban all of you. Demod you the whole fucking 9 yards. Just everybody. It's okay. See, I told you she didn't like cereal. You asked her for her favorite one, and she just tells you one that's okay. God. Maybe have another one where the blonde is like seeping into the fucking brain. The blonde dye is like seeping into the brain at some point. Y'all do know that you're only supposed to keep the dye in your hair for about an hour or so, and at that point you're supposed to wash it out quite well. Thank you, Shivy. I was going to just take your word for it. You didn't have to send me a fucking another message, but okay. Is this a blonde thing? Seriously? What's up with a special K with strawberries? Yeah, Shivy. I just addressed that. Thank you. But yes, as I was saying before, some of these people showed up. Um, yeah, apparently the amazing podcasters known as the what the hell is it? Murder Sheets. Yeah, yeah, Murder Sheets. Like I said, they're going to do an expose. No, 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 no. I don't think episode. I don't know what the hell you call it. What's it called in podcasting? Chapter or something like that. Yeah, on I guess those those that group that everybody loves so much. And I know just everybody's got nothing they would rather do in this world to watch that. So yeah, it's gonna be fucking amazingly epic. I I mm, I don't watch or listen to trash, but teach your own. But hey, since basically most of this started as a troll farm and a Delphi thing, so I gotta advertise for them. You know what I'm saying? There are people I talk to in real life and all this other junk, so I gotta look out for my homies, I guess. But yes. 1 second, I'm gonna go on mute, and then we're actually gonna officially go through what happened in the patent slash whooping larger cases. Yay! Be right back. Yes, her husband was found not guilty due to lack of evidence. Well, if you were paying attention, Shibby, I did say that Carl Patton, the serial killer convicted thereof in Georgia, his wife, who testified against him to get immunity, also in Georgia. Well, before they were even convicted, about 6 years or so, six, 6 or 10 years, somewhere in that area, uh, Melissa Patton Wolfenbarger was found dismembered inside trash bags. And, well, as I said, being the daughter of serial killers, more or less, you would think that it somehow coincides with, uh, you know, the serial killers, but apparently not. She had a really crappy. Don't act like you can't pay attention because you had to send me a picture of a box of fucking cereal, bro. Come on here. It takes all my fucking concentration to send this picture to Charles. When all that, I mean, I was just like, hey, confirm it. You could have just typed yes in the chat, and everybody else would be like, huh? And I'd be like, okay. But no, it doesn't have hamburger in it. It has wolf and barger in it. Wolf and barger. So think of wolf, then add barge, like a trash barge, and then R, and then there you go. But yeah, um, just recently, as when I believe last week or so, because I saw it when it came out, and Tracy was talking about it, and a trash barge is a flat ass ship that really doesn't have anything on top of it. It's basically a flat surface kind of boat, and on this boat, you could just pile shit up on it. So most people think of like a strip boat without big ass thing where you put a bunch of people. It's basically a boat that you wouldn't have a lot of people on working and whatnot. You would just have the driver, or in some cases, I do believe also they just don't have any kind of engine or anything like that. That they literally just have a flat floating surface that they can pile a bunch of shit on. It's the way that trash is usually transferred from one place over to another, well, over water, I guess. Speaking of Georgia, but yeah, oh, yeah, basically, liquors are stalkers. But yeah, I was a little bit off on my times and dates. I thought it'd be like the late '80s to the early '90s or so when Carl Patton was killing. It was actually from the early to the mid, no, early 1970s to the late 1970s. He killed 5 people. And the thing about these is, you find out very quickly that, well, like I said, it's back and forth of what's the truth and what's not, and why they really occurred and why they didn't. But at first, the first 3 murders occurred with the help of at least 2 of them that I know of were committed with a fireman by the name of Joe Cleveland. And 2 of those murders both happened to be the former and at the time actual husband. No, actually, both of them were the actual husbands of one specific person. Um, but apparently, it's a little toss up because it all depends. I mean, usually, how do I put this? These aren't people that I'm going to really complain that are missing or taken off the face of this earth, basically. And the first husband of this woman apparently was so violent and so abusive or whatever. But here's where it starts getting a little weird because it's like she paid Carl Patton to murder her husband. Uh, yeah. So then it's like, okay, Carl, I want to think of you as honorable serial killer, but that makes me wonder, dude. Did you do it for the money or did you do it because he was an abusive piece of shit? Mm, it is what it is, I guess. But once again, the same lady that paid him for the first one proceeded to once again pay Carl Patton a second time to murder her then husband later on, who I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to probably make you go, what? Apparently, he was a very violent, abusive piece of shit, too. Now, why do you, what is wrong with my emoji? Is it scary? Oh my god. She just wants to look at the fire dragon. That's all it is. She wants to make fun of my fire dragon. That's all it is. Guaranteed. Be right back. any better, you guys? Because I haven't used this one enough, and since it's already saved on my phone, I really didn't have any other ones I could use. So seeing this one sitting there just amused me comically, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use that one. Hey, hey, hey! You guys, she didn't want the demon, okay? So I changed it. I thought that was a good thing. I mean, what's wrong with the one now? I mean, seriously. I mean, how do I put? Yeah, of all people, y'all would insult this man. Do you even know whose that picture is? That's one of the guys on y'all side, believe it or not. Thank you very much. That is detective. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a detective or whatever. That is Todd Click. Yes. Yep. That is Todd Click from the Delphi trial and still. See, criminality was having people come on her show. Each person had to literally put on a costume, or so to speak, before they talked. And well, I'm guessing you can technically I played two parts, but the majority of the one was basically Todd Click. So yeah, and she wouldn't let me use his rap shot photo either. That made me sad because I'm like, it's the perfect kind of thing that it looks just perfect. But they yeah, they said no. King Kong Ted Bundy. For one, okay, that's two different people that you just shoved together, shitty. That's not even one person. Okay, there's King Kong Bundy, the wrestler, okay? And then there's Ted Bundy, the serial killer. No, see, everybody on Teresa's channel that day and thereafter uh, was, we weren't supposed to act like we were ourselves. We had like my name, I had changed to like Todd Click. So instead of necessary evil or something, we would just say Todd Click. And like I said, she wouldn't let me use the rap shot of him. So oh, are you combining serial killers and professional wrestlers? Interesting, interesting, interesting. Was his name Terry Gore? I didn't think it was Terry Gore. Hmm. That was like Peter or some shit. That's the guy that was like the Florida serial killer that was half. He was part of a team, wasn't he? Where was I reading transcripts? Yes, yes, yes. Transcripts. Yeah, everybody that was on Teresa's channel or whatever to do that. Oh, you saw McFoley? Hell yeah. She got fucked up. Yeah, McFoley was thrown with for an Irish whip. He got tangled up in the ropes, and his ear was ripped off of the side of his head, basically. Or are you talking about cauliflower ear? Because that's like a common like occurrence for people that box and uh, get in physical fights and all kinds of shit. They get hit in the ear so damn much it starts looking like the ears fucking falling off and stuff. Or like Evander Holyfield's ear, because we know what happened there. If you don't, go to Google. Just saying. And it's kind of showing your age if you don't know what happened to Evander Holyfield's ear. Hey, why is the serial killers you keep? Hold on. Okay, that's the first one that didn't involve Florida, so I guess I'll let it slide. The other two were fucking Florida fuckers, technically. The first one you talked about was Ted Bundy, and Ted Bundy killed a bunch of chicks inside the fucking sorority house at fucking Florida State University, and then fucking Gore was a half member of some killer tag team or whatever, and he was also from Florida. Pretty sure Randy Kraft's not Florida. Didn't kill in Florida. He might have. I don't know. I know who you're talking about, but I don't think that one works, Chevy, because did Randy Savage, was his middle name Steven or Kraft? Oh yeah, if you're King Kong Bundy, that's what you. Yeah, it's like the scariest ones, and I bet King Kong Bundy is actually a pretty nice dude. It turns out that most of those big monster type guys are usually probably basically the nicest ones out there. Like when I met the Undertaker and Kane and all them, such fucking gentlemen. They were so nice. The Big Show, such a fucking gentleman, so nice and polite. They wouldn't give me any tombstones or choke slams or anything like that, but they were still lovely, very lovely. Diamond Dallas Page is like, oh, speaking of which, Chivy, see, this is why you need to stop being a little bitch, bro. I wanted somebody to come up here and do like wrestling murders and shit with me, but like nobody else watches fucking wrestling. Paul Bearer, you didn't spell it right. Paul Bearer, Bearer, like bearer, like ring bearer, I guess. And at some point, I'm going to cover cases like uh, Jimmy Snuka when he murdered his girlfriend, Dino Bravo, fucking Chris Benoit, all kinds of crazy shit. Got to cover. I mean, even though none of them were actually murdered, you got if you can't talk about wrestling and deaths and weird and shit without talking about what the fuck was her name? The band something or others. Band. Oh, and the Hearts. You got to talk about the Hearts, and you have to talk about the band. What's yours? Yeah, of course I'm going to talk about fucking Canadian Chris Benoit, so I can make you look foolish for being Canadian, obviously. And we're going to talk about the Hearts too, because they're Canadian too, and that'll make you look foolish too, because who decides it's a bright idea to fucking descend from the damn Raptors in a fucking snap harness? Yeah. I was actually watching that shit back then. That shit was crazy. But yeah, I know I'm stopping in the middle of everything. I can do what I want. It's my show. Fuck off. Uh, the next thing I'm going to cover is apparently there's a stockpile of evidence and proof and all kinds of other stuff. I'm not sure if I believe it, as I've yet to go through it all, but yeah, I think it's about like 10 or 15 feet below the rafters or so. Nobody checked to see how quick release the harness was, and it was like, you know, I think he moved around a little bit until it took boom. What I'm more shocked at was that Sting so many times and Shawn Michaels after that was so just happily, able to, hey, sure, I'll do it too. Why not? I guarantee they were like, no quick harness, no quick harness. I forget what he was at the time. He was like the blue something or other. Which is sad because honestly, Owen Hart was fucking amazing wrestler and shit. The fact that they even put him in that damn costume with a mask on is, he could talk, he can act, he could wrestle with the best of them and shit. And they put this fool in a mask and hid who the hell he was. And we're talking about somebody that was good enough to beat his own brother, the world heavyweight champion, many, many times. Yeah, his chest. He landed on the ring post. What about Haxel? Haxel's still alive. He's still alive. What are we talking about Haxel? Or was he fighting Haxel? He wasn't fighting Haxel, was he? No. Like, wasn't he like the Blue Avenger or some shit? But yeah. At some point, I'm going to cover all the crazy deaths and stuff. Who was the van? No, Hackshaw's still alive. I'm pretty sure he is. Oh, believe it or not. Oh, did he? Didn't know that. Because he's still alive, so couldn't have been that bad. But remember when I was telling you about the trial that's actually occurring at the moment in time, involving the guy that tried to rob me, that bested in the face with fucking Mountain Dew and shit. Who's also a tree fucker. Which, if Fish is still in here, she can verify she has seen the video because I sent it to her a long time ago of the supposed tree fucker, and he is the same person. In fact, Terry Richardson, I think his name is, was the one that got smashed in the face and all this other stuff that I had to go make a deposition for and everything. He woos the trees, then he smokes a bunch of meth or a bunch of crack, and then he has to have he tries to have sexual fornication. He in his wooing, mind you, what I call wooing the trees is he sits there trying to talk to the trees for a long ass period of time, and then he literally makes a shrine around the tree of trash and stuff that he finds and broken limbs from other trees. I'm not, like I said, you don't have to believe me. It sounds crazy and made up, but at least one person that normally comes in here has indeed seen what I'm talking about. Because I recorded it one day because nobody would believe me. So I was just like, look, see, that's the tree fucker. Fishy, are you still in here? Earth to Fishy, get your looking ass out here real quick. Don't. Yeah. Have you or have you not seen the video of said tree fucker? Hmm? I sent her video at the time of it, and you can see from what I remember, the video is dude sitting there standing in front of the tree. I couldn't remember if he's talking to the tree at that point in time, or he's still in the process of making the tree shrine. Because it's been a long ass while, and I don't even know why I bring that up, but it's just fucking hilarious. Yeah. Oh shit! No, you named the tree. I can't remember what it was though, like ivy or something. What the hell was it? I remember because I died laughing after during that conversation. I forgot all about that shit. No, you named the tree. I'm pretty sure, or at least you started to, and then maybe it was like a back and forth kind of thing. No, I was I'm pretty sure it was like names that were female that had to do with like vegetation and stuff. Like we were going back and forth with about this for like 5 minutes or so, and just laughing. Or and this dude's like 15 or 20. I'm not even joking. Like 15 feet in front of me, and I'm just sitting there dying, very out loud, very upfront, while talking to Fishy and just like joking around and talking shit about all this. Oh, I wish I had that video. Oh, I wish. Yeah, it's one of those things. If you don't see it, you're just like, yeah, right, Charles. I'm sure that really. Oh my God! I swear to God, it did. It's. I swear to God. And then I could just be like, okay, you see the guy in the video. Look at his face and da da da. Now, look at the rap shot and all this other junk. Tell me, anything seem familiar? Then you can just look up the case number. Then boom, you'll see who the complaint is filed by, et cetera, which would be me. But yeah, he would build him a shrine. He would. I don't know what he says because I never get close enough to hear what he's saying to him and stuff. But he would literally walk around, and he would walk like a mile or two after finding a really nice branch that fell off a tree, just to proceed to bring that branch to the tree he was wooing. and if the lawnmower guys or whatever, or the stores that the trees happen to be at, cleaned up the area where he put the shrine at, because this was trash, tree limbs, all kinds of other shit. They get tired of seeing it over time, and it got bigger and bigger and bigger. As I said, as fish, you can see in that video, like it was just like, my best explanation would be like a pile of, like, oh shit, he would cover him with clothes too. I kid you not. He would like, if it's gonna be cold the next day and shit, like in Florida, when it gets certain cold or whatever, they would fucking give an advisory and shit about it. And if it's or if somebody was looking at his tree too much, he would cover it in parts for modesty. So you would find, and he had all his trees marked with like little hmm, um I got you. Give me a minute. I'm gonna run and look and see the StreamYard settings and all that other stuff to see if I'm not even sure how you do that, but there's gotta be. Hold on, let me start going through this shit. I've never banned any words, so music presets, brain color theme, people camera. All right, nothing so far. I'll be right back, y'all. I looked through the settings, I guess, banners, folders, and I'm not finding anything that. Hold on. Settings, general, camo, layouts, guess, general, resolution. Hmm. Nothing under the settings. Hmm. I'm looking. Hmm. What is going on with this shit? I'm not seeing. I keep checking under settings and all that, but I'm not. Yeah, I mean, guys, this isn't. I don't know where you even go to set it up. You know what I mean? I hmm. This is what the hell is going on? Yeah, I don't even know how to ban specific words, let alone set it up for that way. And yeah, this isn't even mine. So I can either end the live and reset the live, and what I would hope to be a non filtered thing. I mean, I've gone through the things that are on the screen, the five things that you scroll through. None of those have it. I clicked the settings before I left the chat or the live and checked the settings themselves, but I'm not seeing anything that concerns like banned words and stuff like that. So, hmm. One minute, I'll be right back. Let me see what. Say, set up even before you get into the live, into the studio and all that stuff. I'm not seeing a single thing that involves. Yeah, well, I mean, I think Peggy would probably know better since rather than banning my account names, she somehow banned the word necessary evil. I'm not sure how she did that, but I'm wondering if that doesn't have some sort of reason, coinciding with what's going on right now. Peggy, wake the fuck up, get in here. If you can ban a specific words from being used and not have to ban a person and just use it, it would ban anybody that has, that in their name or types it or whatever like that. Yeah, I can assure you though, it's nothing I did. I'm I can look it up after the fact or whatever. Actually, I'll be right back, guys. Actually, not even go away. Yeah, it'll be quiet for a minute. But I got an idea. Hold on. Okay, cancel. Tab. How to ban words. How to ban specific words on YouTube. Wow. How to ban specific words on YouTube. That's gay. How to ban words on ban words in chat. Chat on YouTube. Okay, to ban words on YouTube, open YouTube Studio and go to settings, convenient moderation under the automatic filters or company controls tab, find the block words. Okay, so we're getting somewhere at least. Gotcha. All right. So, all right. I've got half of the somehow. Maybe they're banned on my channel itself. 1 second. Okay, I've been all through YouTube Studio and shit, and yeah. Since I'm on mobile at the moment, I'm gonna have to find a different way of doing it, which I will do after the live or whatever. But how do I put this? Oh, I did find an interesting fact though. Nearly 90% of my viewers are chicks. I don't know why, but I just thought that was funny, so I thought I'd just share. So yeah, the 90% nearly of my demographics are all women, so that's pretty cool, I guess. But yeah, apparently 5 people were killed by Coral Patton, 2 of which were violent, abusive husbands. At least 2 of them were committed with his accomplice, Joe Cleveland, a firefighter, back in 1977. They killed Fred White and Matthew Evans. Matthew Evans' uncle was Wyatt. Apparently, he was witness to whatever went on. And Wyatt's roommate, a Betty Jo Eplin, then which their Patton told his wife that he was going to kill Joe Cleveland because of. Were y'all able to hear that or no? Well, between 1973 and 77, Matthew Evans was killed by uh, Carl Patton. I'm not sure of the reason why, but I mean, who knows? And then the next 2 were killed with Fred White and Fred White's roommate, Betty Jo Eplin, uh, because they suspected that they knew about it or had paid Patton or something like that. Is what the cops are basically saying at this moment in time. To him and Joe killed those 2 to keep their mouths shut, basically, and then Carl Patton told his wife he was going to kill Joe Cleveland. Huh? What the fuck is going on? Huh. All right, guys, I'm gonna end this live real quick. I'm gonna set something up or whatever, and then just look for the link to pop up or whatever, and let's see if it's YouTube doing it or what. All right, be right back.